If you want to be able to buy the most expensive players and open the best packs in FC25, go to u7buy.com to buy your EA FC25 coins. It's cheaper than buying FC points and just as reliable. With their already amazing prices, you can get an extra 8% using promo code Inception at checkout. Okay, guys, so for today, we're going to also check Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's one of the trending cards because you can change him into a midfielder. Excuse me. With Trent's card, we are taking a look at somebody who has a bunch of playstyles, to be fair. Way more playstyles than the new SC and SBC card. He's got dead ball, he's got long ball, finesse, incisive pass, pinged pass, tiki-taka whipped pass, intercept, slide tackle, relentless, and a trivela. So, listen, the way that this card is formatted, you could potentially give him a shadow chemistry style and use him in the right back position, but you're not going to be doing that for a solid defensive presence. Sometimes like Diogo Dalot, for instance, has like an evolution card that has like a bruiser plus and stuff. Like that's a really big deal to work with, especially in the fullback position. You guys know because of Theo Hernandez. But with Trent Alexander-Arnold, because I've used his like previous versions in the past, like there was one guy who played in the elites division. He was top 100, and this was before the gameplay patch, but he played, I think it was like a 4-4-1-1, and he used this variation of Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he was using him as a false back plus, right? So there are the odd people here and there that actually do some like different stuff for the most part. Like that was a very unique one. I definitely should have done a review for the tactic because during that time period, it was very unique. But the same situation happened where, you know, if you play him in the right back position, even that card, it wasn't like a solid defensive presence. You were using him specifically because he had the false back, right? So with this card, it's mainly like, for me, the CDM center mid stuff, right? Because he has the deep lying playmaker. And right now, deep lying playmaker is a really big part of the meta of the game, right? So for this card, for the most part, it's to test out what he's like passing wise and defensive quality wise, right? In the midfield setup. So if you're playing 4-2-1-3, you guys know the meta is to use him in the CDM position with a deep lying playmaker. That or center mid in the deep lying playmaker too, because there's some like, I think 4-5-1 or 4-3-1-2 variations where people use that right in the middle, right? So because he has the plus, definitely a big deal there. You're going to do two things with this card. It's either you're going to give him an anchor, right? Because you give him the physical boost as well, or you give him the shadow because you feel like the pace might be too low, right? But he has some shooting capabilities with the Trivela. If you agree in time of strike, he could potentially score them because it's still at 94 for shot power, so there is still potential to score those. He has good passing with the passing playstyles. Dribbling will be experimenting with because he is 5'11 with his body type, right? Which I don't know what it is, but it's usually, it feels like an average from the card before, right? And then for the other stats, defense is going to be perfect on a shadow, and then on an anchor, you could still make it basically perfect, but you give him like a physical boost, but then your pace is lower while not being a lengthy. So a lot of things you have to consider when taking a look at this card. So yeah, we're just mainly going to be using him in the midfield setup. We're going to see how he plays. Hopefully he's a beast. We'll add that in there too. I know it's his trend too, in the right back position. Yeah, I figured that'd be the case. People are weird, man. It was a good initial pass there, Ronaldinho. Sure. Random, but we'll take it. Oh, I should have touched it first. Should have touched it first. Okay, so that's with an anchor. So I kind of want to like to see what he's like with like higher pace in those situations. Okay. Sounds good, Trent. I mean, it's Trivellas, guys. You know how Trivellas are. Let's be real. I did a shot cancel. You guys can't see the controller because it's not on, but I 100% did a shot cancel super early just so I can get that near post angle. But we still score. Oh, that almost worked out for us. There it is, bro. That's a goal. There, let's go, Trent. Good little setup from my boy. Let's go, Ronaldinho. Beauty. Got the weak foot for it. Well done, Trent. Good stuff. Should never happen, but it is what it is, my boy. Beauty, good pass. Sure. That works, that works. Ronaldinho with the defensive play. And he's going to keep going. Little technicals, little technicals. Bang. Time it. First time. Oh, I was really hoping with the right foot there. I really was, man. Well done. Little skill move. There you go. Little pass afterwards. Ah, I should have lobbed it. He has a playstyle plus. That was stupid. Oh, second man press actually worked out. That's good. That is good. That is good. Well position there. Good stuff. Again, probably should have lobbed past that. With the playstyle plus, probably would have been more beneficial for sure. Oh, no animation there. I mean, I might as well try it. For this guy, he just stopped playing since the beginning of the game, so... No foul? Oh, okay. His long ball passes are super nice. Oh. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. Where's Trent? 78 penalties. That's so low. No. I'll take that. Let's go, Ronaldinho. Good stuff, good stuff. Nice interception there by Trent, well positioned. Yeah, you gotta time it. It's a little difficult. If you can get it off, it comes off nice, but you do gotta time it there. Well position again. Yeah, he gets that one too. Beauty. Oh, good animation. Wow, we actually score that. Nice. Very good, very good. I can imagine if he doesn't have like the weak foot there, it's probably nothing. And tackle, and yeah. Figured. Yeah, that trickster fake shot. It'll catch him off guard sometimes for sure. Well positioned. Good challenge. Nice lob pass. Nice pass. Fortunately, that pass wasn't the craziest. Could have been good, though. Nice Trent. Nice Trent. Again. Oh, perfect lob pass again. Nice Trent, good stuff. Got the weak foot, we could score that. Oh, Trent. Yeah, that's the issue. Is like it's the lack of physical, right? I give him a shadow because I'm not giving him an anchor in that position. There's no chance. Yep, just gotta block the area. War pass. Because he has like a little bit of a physical feel to it, but again, when you're 5-star, you're getting compensated, to be fair. Wow, there were Trent. Lel. There we go. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that. Little distribution with the dead ball. I haven't gotten a free kick yet with this card, eh? I'll take that. Hey, come on. No. Sure. A little bit of that there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Little off pass. Actually kind of helps us out because I think he was pretty much offside, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, guys, so final verdict on the Trent Alexander-Arnold card. So I will say that this card's main intention is to be used as a CDM or a center mid on that deep lying playmaker. I will say that, like, when I was trying out some other cards, like the attackers and stuff, and I had him in the team, I felt like that was the most noticeable thing. I did play him in the right back position a little bit, but I think generally speaking, if you play him in the right back position, it is because you have the intention of using him as an attacking player or as a false back. But the thing is that for me in the fullback area, I'd want to have the ability to attack, but I still need the ability to defend as well, right? With like a physical presence, which I feel like the card is not going to be able to do because you give him a shadow in that area. It doesn't really have high enough pace on an anchor for that spot, right? So it's mainly for CDM vibes. In the CDM position, I was switching between anchor and shadow on the card. I personally prefer the shadow. I could see people, leaving the anchor on him for sure because, they want to give him extra physical. The way that I viewed it was like this, right? Like, when I had him on the anchor, I didn't get that extra aggression that I wanted out of the card to like really push into players to get the ball back, right? You notice that a lot when you have a playstyle like Bruiser, right? If you have a Bruiser playstyle and your physical, like if his physical is in the same area, but he has a Bruiser to kind of like aggressively push himself into those areas, maybe even work with a lengthy if he was that sort of player, that type of stuff is very noticeable, right? It's a big deal on Theo Hernandez. That's why that card's amazing. So for me, I felt like, okay, I wanted to give him a shadow chemistry style and then use him in that CDM area. So a couple things that you notice with this card, right? So first and foremost, the passing was incredible to work with, right? So the long ball pass on the card is super, super crispy, right? Power is great. Accuracy is great. Really well weighted, right? Like there's some cards that I use their long ball pass and I'm like, your passing could have been better, like there's some long balls where I'm like, brother, you have the play style and it doesn't hit, He hits very, very good long balls on a pretty consistent basis, especially if you're doing like the really good, clear and obvious ones. And it does work hand in hand with the passing stats. Passing in general with this card is great, right? Whether that was pinged passes, whether that was through ball passes, it didn't really matter. He hit them very, very well, right? So that was like a huge variable to work with as that deep lying playmaker, right? That's the main reason to use him. The other thing that I noticed with the card is that he doesn't have intercept plus, but you notice a lot of interceptions out of the card playing in that deep lying role, right? Like he actually positions himself really well to get those interceptions. The only thing that this card lacked in was more of a physical presence, right? And there are some CDMs that, like, if we're going to be doing a comparison, right? Like I was using Trent next to Çalhanoğlu, which I think it's this version, but the evolution version of it, I don't know if it's going to be still available here. I don't think it is, but I don't know what they did to this evolution version of Çalhanoğlu, but this card, well, not that I don't know, because look at his play styles, right? He has more of a physical feel to him. I don't know if the evolution has more actual physical stats, but in game he does a lot of physical things because he has the anticipate plus while working with a bruiser. You guys see what I'm saying? Like it always, like everything kind of bounces off each other in this game, right? Like cards don't really surprise me that often. Like when you're using them in game and you look at their actual play styles, you're like, oh, this actually makes sense because this is clearly bouncing off of this. And if this was higher, then he would be like this, right? So that's the card that I was using next to Trent. And I was like, yo, Çalhanoğlu's amazing. Like I never did his review for the evolution, but the card is really solid. Like his anticipate comes off really well, right? More of a physical presence than Trent Alexander-Arnold. But Trent's passing and his interceptions still makes him a very solid player in the CDM position. That is the only thing that you are missing on the card. It's just more of a physical presence, right? Like when I'm challenging up against people, I just wish that, they gave him like a base bruiser. I think a base bruiser might have been very helpful on him, to be honest with you, especially if I had him on the anchor chemistry style. I think that little bit of extra aggression towards winning the ball back would have been more ideal. The anticipate play style would have been ideal. Doesn't have anticipate, but still did decent standing tackles, to be honest with you. Like there was a lot of situations where I was like, okay, he actually still does a pretty solid job here. So I think meta-wise, the main things that this card was genuinely missing was both the bruiser and the anticipate to give him more of a physical feel in the game, right? But in the CDM position, you really can't go wrong with his price for a card that and this is very important for me in the CDM position, positions himself well for the interceptions. AI wise, I think that's going to be a really big thing to work with for a lot of people, right? Because that was one of the most noticeable things that I saw out of the card on a pretty consistent basis, right? So it's very important that he has that as a base mechanic. Otherwise, it would mainly just be the passing, and it's kind of like whatever, right? Like for me, I like to work with players that offer good passing, good physical, like just all around good play, right? Like if you're missing one thing, it's kind of annoying in certain situations, right? So yeah, that would be the only thing. Like even if I gave him an anchor chemistry style, I still feel like he would require those play styles to really push that aggression out of the card. But in the CDM position, he was still very decent to use because of the passing capabilities and because of the fact that he actually intercepts the ball and positions himself really well to kind of help out in the general build-up play. That is the reason to use a card like this, is going to be mainly on that deep lying playmaker role, or false back if you want to, because he's going to be generally in the midfield position, helping you out in the build-up play. That's the main reasons to unlock the card. So still a very cool card. One of the cooler cards they released for Foot Birthday in that general position. Meta-wise, that's the only thing that he's missing though, is more of a physical feel behind him, right? Like when I was using Çalhanoğlu, like there's like these like hardcore challenges that he does more of because he has the Anticipate Plus with the Bruiser. And then it works well with him because he has other play styles too. Like the card still has Incisive Pass, still has Long Ball, still has Pinged Pass, still has Intercept, and a Jockey, right? Like that's why that evolution was trending, because it made sense. Like he's a very, very good card in game. If you guys did his evolution, then good for you, because he's very, very solid, especially if you can easily link him in your team. But yeah, it's still a cool card. Still a cool card. It's a cool variable of being able to switch him into the midfield position and still perform well in the current meta of the game, regardless of physical. But I will say, like full meta wise, like people would want more physical on the card, right? But he still performs well. I like the like to dislike ratio. I think it's very fair for how he performs in that general midfield position, because you guys know, man, passing is a really big thing in this game, because it's all about that pings pass, the incisive pass, it's just that last second pass that just makes that difference. Free kicks, dead ball. I mean, I don't know how to do it for the corner kicks, but the free kicks, they come off really nicely. If you if you put enough power where the strike actually comes off really nicely, he's going to do a very solid job at those two, right? That's why I have to show those animations in game, because he hits them pretty cleanly, to be honest, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. I will catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.